Hi, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's always nice to have you guys here. So let us continue our course model for generative AI. In the last video, which is lesson 7, we did something really cool. We were able to develop our own personal chatbot from beginning to the end, writing the code and doing everything using ChatGPT API. And we saw that we can create our own personal chatbot that we can interact with personally, and we saw how to do that from end to end. So in today's video, we want to look at AI ethics, right? So we want to look at can we really trust generative AI with our future? Can we really trust generative AI with our data? What are the do's and don'ts, right, when we are creating generative AI applications? So what are the things that we should look for that are good and that are not good? Okay, so that's the purpose of this lecture. Okay, so the first thing, of course, is what is AI ethics, or you can say what is generative AI ethics, because generative AI is a branch of AI. Okay, so AI ethics refers to the principles that guide responsive design, development, and use of AI. Okay, so ethics are a set of rules, right? So set of do's and don'ts that people should use when they want to design first and develop and use AI. Okay, so that is what AI ethics is what are the things that developers should be aware of, right? And the users too, what they should be aware of. Okay, so generative AI ethics focus on fairness, because your application will have to be fair with everyone. Okay, so and then your application will have to be transparent, right? Like transparency, right? So like this one means that you have to tell people how generative AI is making decisions, right? So if you are using generative AI in any application, tell people that, oh, this is how this application is making decision. Okay, accountability, right? So when something goes wrong, you developer, you have to be accountable for whatsoever happens. Then privacy, we're going to talk about all of this. So these are all the things that AI ethics is focused on. Okay, so why it matters, right? Because AI now is being used in healthcare, law, education, and more. So we have to make sure that AI is making good decisions and is being fair with everyone, because if AI like used in healthcare is biased like towards like a set of people or race, that is not really good, because then that means there is no equal right. Okay, so that's why it matters for us to study AI ethics, meaning the do's and don'ts in AI. Okay, so why ethical concern in generative AI? So why are we specifically concerned with ethics or the do's and don'ts, specifically in generative AI? Why? Okay, so we know generative AI creates text, images, videos, and more, right? Generative AI creates all of these things, right? So we want to make sure that generative AI is actually creating content that is fair with everyone, right? Creating images that are not against certain culture or certain race or anything. We have to make sure that the content that AI is generating is fair to everyone. Okay, so ethical issues could arise, if like AI influences opinion and decisions, right? So people can use AI applications to influence people's opinion and decisions, right? Maybe like some social media posts and all of that, right? So we have to make sure that what people use AI to create, to share with others, are actually accurate, because those content can influence people's opinion and decision, like even in elections, right? So that is why it is very crucial that we look at it. So then, of course, outputs of generative AI are not always accurate and unbiased, right? Because AI still have some probability of making errors, right? So it's not always accurate, and it's not always unbiased. Sometimes it's biased, sometimes it's inaccurate. So we have to make sure that we set some rules to make sure that we catch generative AI when it's not accurate and when it is not unbiased. Okay, without ethics, AI could harm individual or society, right? That is very, very important, because if you don't put rules in there, AI can go out of hand and harm people, right? Maybe just like AI can install viruses on your laptop, or get your data, and some people have even said that, like AI can actually hijack um, military equipment. Yeah, possible, because AI is software and military equipment are being controlled by softwares sometimes, right? So that's why it's very, very important for us to know what AI can do and not. So ethical challenges in generative AI, okay, bias and fairness. Again, we have to make sure that generative AI is not biased and it's not fair, and is fair. Models may inherit biases from training data. So when you train your AI, generative AI, you have to make sure that the data, right, has representation from all areas, from all races, right? Because if you train your model with maybe just black people or just white people, right? So just black people, that model will not work for white people, and vice versa. Okay, so example of this is gender or racial biases in AI generated job descriptions. Okay, so if you use AI to generate job description and you train the AI specifically for job description for a certain race or certain individual or certain age or anything, it will be biased. Okay, so we have to make sure that there is no bias and there is fairness. Transparency. User often don't know how AI make decisions, so you have to be transparent when you are designing your AI. Tell people how that AI is making decisions, right? So that people can know what is going on. Okay. Again, accountability. This one, it's very interesting. So if you design an AI, maybe like AI that drive like a self-driving car, right? And the car make mistake or eat something, who is responsible? Is it the person that is sitting in the car, not driving the car, or the company that designed the car? So these are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves, right? So probably the car manufacturer, right, will be responsible for that, but nobody knows for now. So misinformation. It is also possible for generative AI to create realistic false content. See, like false content that looks real, yeah, especially during election or during riot or something like that. We have to be, because right now it's even difficult to know what is being generated by AI and what people actually put out there that is from human, right? So we have to make sure that the content has accurate information, right? So, and that is why we have ethical concern about that. Then privacy. Sensitive information can be unintentionally used, right? So we have to be very careful about how we, and the reason why we develop our own chatbots, right, is so that the data that we use to train the AI can be private to us. If you train ChatGPT that is available online with your data, everyone will have access to your data. So we have to be very careful about privacy. Okay, so these are some of the challenges that we have in generative AI, ethical challenges. Okay, example of ethical AI failures, right? Just example of AI not doing the right thing, right? Facial recognition bias. Of course, we've discussed this one. If AI is being trained with data from specific race, it won't work, right, for other race, right? Then deep fakes, AI generated video used to spread misinformation, right? So anybody can ask generative AI to create video of any person, say president of the United States, say, okay, create video, then you give it content, and it will look real, and it might be used to spread misinformation, right? So that is why that is not good. Then we need to have ethics, right, that say you cannot do that, and if you do that, then you will be prosecuted, right? So that is one of the things. And chatbot issues too, sometimes when you chat with ChatGPT, it might give you offensive or biased responses, because that's what is being trained. So if it's been trained from purely gathered training data, you might have something like that. So examples of AI failures, ethical AI failures that we need to address. Okay, so then how do we build trust in generative AI? So we see example of failures. Then how do we build trust? So how do we make sure that these failures do not happen in future? Okay. So the first thing is transparency. Like I said before, when you design an AI, you have to tell people how it works and tell people its limitation. Tell people that this AI can make mistakes. Tell people that if your AI is generating text, tell them to go and review it, right? Because AI can make mistakes. Be transparent. Tell them it's not 100%. Tell them it's not perfect, right? That is very important. Fairness. Use diverse, unbiased data sets. So when you are training your data, use data that has representation from all gender, from race, from culture. Make sure that you are very inclusive in how you gather your data, right? So that your AI will be fair. Accountability. Ensure someone is responsible for your AI outcomes, right? So you have to make sure of that. Okay. Education. Teach users about AI strength and weakness, right? So when you create an application, tell people these are the strengths and these are the weaknesses of this application. It's very important. So the role of regulation in AI ethics, right? So we actually have government bodies that regulate all of these things, right? So why regulation matters? It provides legal frameworks for responsible AI use, right? It's very, very important. And we have some example of this body, GDPR and US AI Bill of Rights, So if you violate any of these, then the government will come for you, okay? Then the outcome of these regulations ensure AI benefits society and avoid harm, right? It makes sure that the society is benefiting from it. It ensures that the society is aware of the limitation of AI, right? So that everybody can benefit from it. So the role of individual, right? So you as a person, what can you do? If you're not the government, of course. So make sure that you question AI output. When you chat with chatbot, make sure you question the output. Consider the accuracy and their impact. Make sure that you look at the output before you put the content out there, right? It's very important. And support ethical AI practices in your community. If you see someone that is building something that is not ethical, tell them, right? Or probably report them. I don't know. Then learn about AI capability, risk, and ethical implication. At least if you are watching this video, at least you are learning about it. So you yourself learn about all the AI capabilities, and AI is improving all the time. So make sure that you are up to date about AI capability, risk, and ethical implications. Okay, so that is all that we have for this video, right? And the next video that we have is what is next for generative AI, and that will be the last video that we have for this series. And I want you guys, don't miss the video. Please like, subscribe, and share so that you don't miss this last video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.